I'm here at the Toledo Zoo Aquarium checking out some of the animals that they have here. And the first animal that I decided to look at was the penguins. There are no penguins. While I was at the zoo, I learned some pretty interesting things about penguins, specifically the African penguins, as you see here. As far as breeding goes, African penguins are colonial breeders, with both sexes building nest burrows in sand, rock clefts, or under bushes. The female usually lays 2 eggs, and both parents take turns incubating until the chicks hatch around 40 days. African penguins dive underwater in groups to forage for live fish. Dives can last up to 2.5 minutes and can reach a depth of up to 280 feet. Twice a year, African penguins molt or shed and replace all their feathers. During this time, which usually lasts for 13 days, the birds do not enter the water except to drink. Molting is a natural process all birds go through in which their old, worn-out feathers fall out onto their own and get replaced with brand new ones. Feathers are very important to penguins because they keep them dry and warm during and after their dives in the water. Unlike most birds that molt a few feathers at a time, penguins go through what is called a catastrophic molt, in which all of their old feathers are pushed out at the same time. This makes the penguins look a little funny. The molting process takes between 2 and 3 weeks and be completed, and during this time, penguins cannot enter the water because their feathers are not waterproof. The next animal I chose to take a look at were jellies. Incorrectly called jellyfish, sea jellies are not fish at all, actually. They belong to a group of animals called cnidarians. Simple animals, they are 95% water and lack a backbone, heart, brain, and true eyes. More than 2,000 species exist with a wide range of sizes, shapes, and colors. Cnidarians have radial symmetry, where parts of their body are arranged and repeated around a central axis. The jellies pictured here are moon jellies. Moon jellies have unusual means to catch their prey. Moon jellies gracefully drift with ocean currents, feeding on small plankton. They can sting to subdue prey, but more often, prey simply become entangled in the animal's mucus covering and is then channeled to the animal's mouth. Cnidarians have an oral surface where the mouth is and an aboral surface on the opposite side. They have a centrally located mouth surrounded by tentacles, slender figure-like extensions used to capture and handle food. The mouth opens into a gut where food is digested. The jelly pictured here is a lion's mane jelly. The lion's mane jelly is the largest in the world, reaching more than 6 feet in diameter, with tentacles up to 120 feet long. After looking at the jellyfish, I headed over to check out some coral. Coral reefs are made of huge amounts of calcium carbonate, or limestone, deposited by organisms. Of the thousands of species in coral reef communities, only a fraction produce the limestone reef. The most important of these reef-building organisms, not surprisingly, are corals. Some of the corals featured in the tanks that you see here are staghorn coral, staghorn green coral, horn coral, mushroom anemones, sea rods, leather coral, traditional leather coral, flat leather coral, and rainbow polyps. Coral polyps produce calcium carbonate skeletons. You have to look close to see the little polyps that build coral reefs. Coral polyps are not only small but deceptively simple in appearance. They look much like little sea anemones, consisting of an upright cylinder of tissue with a ring of tentacles on top. Like anemones and other cnidarians, they use their tentacles to capture food, especially zooplankton. The tentacles surround the mouth, the only opening to the sac-like gut. Earlier, I mentioned cnidarians when talking about jellies. Another form of cnidarian is a sea anemone, which is the animal I chose to take a look at next. Also pictured are some clownfish that can be found living in sea anemones. Clownfish and anemones share a close partnership. The close partnership between clownfish and anemones is one of mutual protection. Clownfish chase away tentacle-eating butterfly fish, while the stinging tentacles of the anemones deter fish-eating predators. Anemones are clearly invertebrates. meaning that they do not have a backbone. Um, Along with anemones, 97% of all species of animals are invertebrates. Well, that about wraps up my trip to the Toledo Zoo Aquarium. It was very cool to go and learn about all the different types of marine animals they have there and to see them in action. It was also cool going in with some knowledge about some of these animals, just from learning about them from this course. The new aquarium was very nice. They just recently renovated it. It houses over 3,000 aquatic animals in 178,000 gallons of water. It was very nice, and I would definitely recommend visiting there.